Welcome back to Razorback TV Live, brought to you by Millway Federal Credit Union. I'm Gracie Pendergraft, the roaming reporter for this hour, and I'm sitting here with our wonderful teacher, Mr. Westbrook.
So hey, thanks, Gracie.
How's
Glad
it
to be
going
here
today?
It's been going good. It's going really well. We need a little bit more money, so 817-597-8156. Okay, that's what you need to call or text right now. I want those big donations coming in. Students have worked really hard today, and
yes.
We're trying to get to Washington, D.C. for the Student Television Network Conference, and we need money to get there. I'm not afraid to beg for it.
All right. I mean, if you want to be crazy, give us more money than TAP did. The Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department did today. They gave us like over $1,000. So if you want to go that crazy, by all means.
Officer Douglas did put a call out there
He did.
by the way, they showed up with their lights going, the sirens blaring. It kind of scared all of us before we got started today, but
That's true.
They came in loud, and they came in with a big donation, and they did ask for others to do the same. So they gave us $1,275, and they wanted some people to match that. So I'm going to follow up with that and see if somebody can come in and match that big donation.
Yes, sir. All righty, so this is our first ever live stream, like real live stream. So how are you feeling about this? Or were you nervous about it? Or I know your kids were nervous because we were freaking out.
So here's the thing about me. I'm very deliberate in when I decide to do something. And I knew that this was the right crew to do this. I knew this was the crew that could handle it. So I really wasn't all that nervous. There was just a lot of things to think about. Who are you going to interview? Are they going to show up? What happens if they don't show up? There's just so many elements of a live event for even 30 minutes or an hour. Multiply an hour by 6 hours, and there's so much to try to handle. That was really my big concern, but I'd say it's all been pretty smooth, and I know this hour I can't wait to see who ends up with the best gingerbread house over there.
That is what I'm excited
Addison
about.
and Charlie, they are locked in over there right in the studio, and there they are. That's so cool. Y'all had some great ideas. Y'all came up with some really fun things, and I hope y'all have had fun as well.
Oh yes, it's been an amazing experience. But this experience doesn't just. And not anybody can just do it. So I know you got into the industry very young when you were 17 years old. So tell us, how did you end up doing this?
Well, I actually thought I was going to go into banking, and I was on this junior banking board in high school. I was the only student from my school selected. Well, it just so happened one of the very first people that came to speak was the public relations director of the bank. And when I was in high school, I didn't know that banks had those kind of jobs. It turns out that guy was also the morning show host on our local radio station. And he said, hey, if anybody's interested, we need some part-time workers. And I thought, that sounds a lot more fun than banking. So I just hopped on. I jumped in, started working at KYQX Radio in Weatherford, Texas. You'll never forget that first job, right? And the call letters, and everybody reverts back to their first radio station in the radio industry or TV, and it's just something you'll never forget. And so I just kind of fell in love with the idea of, Gracie, you might be able to relate to this. I was told I talked a lot in high school.
I talk a lot.
So I had to find a way to channel that.
Yes.
They put me on the debate team. That was a good start, but it wasn't enough. So by 18, I was on the radio, and by, I guess, 21 or so, I was doing some TV work, and that's kind of how I got into it. Went to school at the University of North Texas, worked in Dallas radio for a while, and have worked for a TV production company in Little Rock for about 7 or 8 years now. So just kind of do a little bit of everything, but I really enjoy being here at Arkansas High now.
Yeah. Can you tell us how you got to Arkansas High? Because Weatherford, Texas is pretty far, right?
Yeah, sure. So that number you see on the screen there earlier, right now, actually, that's the Weatherford-Fort Worth area code, my hometown. And, I met this wonderful lady named Betty Westbrook. I think we're going to hear from her later. And I realized I'm not making a whole lot of money. I don't know if I'm going to be able to support her. So I kind of took the part-time radio TV route and took a job in administration. Really enjoyed my time in that position, but after a couple of years, I just kind of felt like I was missing what I was called to do, right? My mom was a teacher for a long time, and so this job opened up, and I said, why not? And so that's kind of how I landed here.
What were your thoughts when you first got to Arkansas High? Because I know it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah, well, just from the perspective of Razorback TV in our area here, just to put this into perspective for all the students, it was 1 year ago today we actually completed the lighting project in here.
Oh, wow.
So it's taken a while to get us where we want to be. I think we're almost there. My thoughts were there was a lot of opportunity. I thought there was really a real chance to see what Texas High is doing, see what some of the best in the nation are doing, and be right up there with them. And I think we've been able to do that. We're not quite where we want to be yet, as maybe you saw from that last commercial break. Things don't always go right, but that's okay. And so my thoughts were there was a lot of opportunity, and just needed the right group to come along. And last year's students and this year's students have been the right group.
Awesome. Is that so the students that are coming in and the ones that you're like, oh, this is the golden group, this is the ones, that what made you stay here at Arkansas High? Because I know you thought about going other places.
That's true. Yeah,
and you've gotten big job offers for other places, right?
Well, I mean, we don't want to, we don't want to go into too much of that, I guess. But no, yeah, that really, believe it or not, y'all grow on teachers a little bit. And at the end of last year, I was recruiting students, and of course you were one of them, and several others here today. And sure, some opportunities come up here and there, but there was no way I could walk away from what we have going on here right now.
That's awesome. So for our viewers who don't know, like, they know that we have Razorback TV. They know, hey, these kids put out a news show once a week, but there's so much more to that. So can you tell us, like, what is really Razorback TV?
Well, yeah, gosh, how do we sum that up? We got till 6 o'clock, right?
We've got
time. What Razorback TV really is it's a lot of teamwork. It's a lot of collaboration. It's a lot of critical, hard thinking from time to time. Just to plan a video from start to finish takes time. It takes a work ethic. It takes responsibility to handle the expensive equipment. And so some of the other big things that Razorback TV is about is, we put together the weekly newscast, the monthly show, but our biggest key is we are kind of an advertising engine for not only the school but for the district to try to promote so many of the positive things that are happening here. Promote our students, our teachers, our administrators, all of the extra support staff, and you guys do that through Razorback TV News. That has definitely been the big thing, the marquee thing, and I'm so glad that we have that running at a really efficient level. But yeah, it's so much more. I mean, it's just, for instance, just yesterday, the Razorback TV studios, because of our new equipment, the TriCaster TC1, was the TriCaster that live streamed the announcement of the Division II Football Player of the Year, the Harlan Hill Award.
Yes.
So got the call. They said, hey, we had some things go wrong. We need you to jump in and help out. We know your studio can handle it. So can you do that for us? And we did it. So, we have industry connections and partnerships that we just try to expand on those and give our notoriety to RTV and to give you guys opportunities.
Yes, that's amazing. So over the past 4 years you've been here, you've made a lot of changes. So can you tell us about some of those changes?
Do I look different? Is that those changes? My hair's going gray,
I mean, you
think.
Shaved your beard.
You meant here in the
I meant
okay.
here, yes. In our little division, our little building down here at the end of the campus.
Yeah.
What all have you changed?
Well, gosh, a lot of things. I mean, this studio is one thing. There was just maybe one or two working cameras when we started in here. We've added the anchor desk. We've added the platform to go on the anchor desk, the backdrops, the lights, the robotic cameras. We, as you heard from Miss Rachel Scott earlier, we're getting ready to update the Mac Lab. And also, one of the other things that doesn't really get seen much, we have a couple of production booths, radio booths, that I'm really proud of, just being a radio guy. And, I think that's cool when you can just go in there and do your voiceovers. It's kind of a quiet space and get away from the noise and the chaos of a classroom sometimes.
Oh, yes. Might even take a nap in there.
Check out the gingerbread houses over there. That did not last nearly as long as we expected it to.
Well, they still got a while to decorate, right?
Decorate.
Oh, okay.
And decorate our gingerbread men.
All right.
Does Cleo have any leftover icing?
Gracie, they need Cleo back in here to help them with the decorating, maybe.
They do.
Yeah.
So, what are your future plans for RTV?
Keep all of y'all around as long as I can, I guess.
Well,
Does that...
Seniors, you have a lot of seniors that are fixing to burn out, but
yeah. Well, I would like to expand our sports coverage a little bit if possible, if time allows. that's a really daunting task. It's something I've been involved in for a long time. But it takes a lot of manpower and to be able to produce a sportscast. So I think we're getting there. This is going to kind of help us get to that point. I would like to live stream more events. And I would also like to advocate that the Student Television Network allow us to enter our weekly and our monthly shows for competition. Yes. And I'm going to work on that, not only for our school, but across the nation, because you guys have produced some incredible content. We haven't talked a lot about it today, but we have entered our show into the Broadcast Excellence Awards, and we only got to choose one. I wasn't allowed to choose the weekly and the monthly. I think that our students deserve to have their work showcased at both levels. And then also, I'm really working in the state. I don't know if y'all know this. I'm on the board of Skills USA, and I'm on the board of the Arkansas Scholastic Press Association. So those are two organizations that are important to me and to you guys as students for competition and just for overall general well-being and to make yourself a better person. And so that's one of my big goals, is to have y'all involved in those organizations and I don't know, try to teach you something along the way that might make you a better person. I don't know.
All righty. Well, as it's been said so many times throughout the show, we are going on a trip to Washington, D.C. So I know some of the anchors, I know myself, we haven't really gone into a whole lot of depth about what it is. So can you just tell us a little bit about that trip? Yeah,
sure. So it's a 17th annual STN convention, and it was actually last year after we had won one of the awards from a submission that we mailed in. I was sitting at home watching the live stream of the event from Seattle, and I had no idea they were going to mention Arkansas High, but they did, and they said, Arkansas High had won this regional award. And honestly, Gracie, you would think that'd be a great moment, but my heart kind of sunk, and I thought, we are not there. You know, we need to be there. Yeah. We may not win this year, but we need to be there anyways. And so it's been, I guess, about 8 months or so that I've been thinking, how are we going to make this work? We got to get there. And so it's in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. There's not a better place to tell stories.
It's really not.
And so y'all are going to be out live in Washington, D.C. doing some live contests. You're going to be a part of the Tell the News story, which you've done a great job with this year. Galen and DeMonte, Hannah and Charlie, they're going to be producing a television commercial. I mean, how often are they going to get that chance in Washington, D.C.? And then we've got a couple of others, Patrick, Evan, and Braden. They are going to be doing a live event as well as a part of an anchor team. They've already taken part in one event this year in Springdale, and so they're kind of a little more prepared for that now. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take some time to sightsee. Don't worry, all right? And we're also going to take part in some workshops, and I'm actually going to be fortunate to take part in a teacher workshop as well, where I'll get the chance to kind of be a little more creative. I know that y'all might be surprised. I'm not the most creative person. News is kind of an A through Z. You just do it in order and you get it done. But I am actually taking some critiques as well and some advice, and I'm going to try to see if we can't be a little more creative with our editing.
Well, hey, now, there's nothing wrong with that, right? All righty. So how do you motivate your students here? Because I know some of us are like, I don't want to do this. I don't want, but like you give us the big picture of what the long run's going to be, like what our big reward's going to be. So like, how do you motivate your students to get to where they are now?
Well, it's no surprise I'm pretty tough on y'all. That's for sure. Because you're in a live setting, and even if it's recorded, it's going to be put out for a public product, and we want it to be done right, and we want it to be done well, but ultimately, I want it to be something that y'all are proud of. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm tough on y'all, but I think that is how I motivate you. And I just continue to tell all of you, that the people see your work. They're proud of you. I mean, we had the Miss AHS, as you know, recently, and it was DeMonte and Braden that hosted that, and their work in theater and in Razorback TV led to their success on stage, and your work in here and everything else you're involved in led to your success there. And so I just try to remind you all of how great y'all really are without letting your egos get too big, But all of you have so many great talents, and it's my job to find those and to see those and to let you know about them. And so I will say that's not something I did very well my first couple of years, and I've tried to learn from that. And of course, Keon and Hank and Mason and Josh last year, I tried to encourage and promote them as much as I could. And I think that led to all of y'all knowing about Razorback TV and wanting to be a part of this. And so I hope that is a good attribute of mine. I hope y'all see that. But I do try to just tell you how great you are.
That's awesome. We really do appreciate it. Like, you're a wonderful teacher, and you motivate us to do, and like, go out of our comfort zone. Because I know lots of kids who are involved would never have done this or never would have picked this. So it's really amazing what you do here.
It's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy at all. We're being told that they don't want me to talk anymore.
Well, I have one last question.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we going to win this year? Are we going to win something, do you think?
Yeah, no doubt.
There we are.
Yeah, no doubt. You got big shoes to fill. There were some big awards won last year by this crew. So, I don't know. Every year is different. Let me say that, though. I don't want to get your hopes up too much because you never know who might enter what. You never know what other schools have. At the end of the day, to be really honest with you, the goal is that you learn, right? And that you have this teamwork and this collaboration, but I am quite a competitor, so I do want you to win. And yes, by the end of the year somewhere, there will be a first place of some sort, I'm sure, for this crew. And if not, I'll make one up for you, okay? But the answer is yes.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. I mean, even though you're already here.
Yeah. I think I'm going to stay. Is that okay?
That's perfect if you stay. All righty. Well, this is Razorback TV Live, brought to you by Millway Federal Credit Union. We'll see you after the break.